This video is sponsored by Motion Array. There's a lot of 50mm lenses out there, but not like this new lens from Sigma. This 50mm f1.2 DGD&R is truly special. I have been waiting for it for years, and after shooting with it for a while now, I can finally share my photos and videos shot with it with all of you. I've been using it alongside my Sony 50mm f1.2 G Master, and I am really shocked by the results. In this video, I will tell you why this lens could be the best 50mm ever for Sony-E or L-mount cameras. Keep watching to find out more. I have always been a fan of 50mm lenses. 50mm is the focal length that suits my shooting style and the prime that I always feel the most comfortable with. I have used the original HSM Sigma on DSLRs for years, and while waiting for a new 50mm for mirrorless cameras before 50mm f1.4 came out, I have invested in Sony 50mm f1.2 G Master. Sony G Master is a very good and very expensive lens, and the only competition for this new Sigma. I love Sigma lenses, especially their primes, and I had very high expectations for this, and I'm not disappointed at all. There was no full-frame autofocusing high-end 50mm f1.2 for L-mount cameras previously, so this is even more unique or special option if you use Sigma or Lumix cameras. So how does it perform? There's no surprise that the sharpness and the optical quality, even wide open, is outstanding. There's no slight softness associated with ultra-wide aperture primes here. Sharp is very sharp. Also, the sharpness is not limited to just center of the frame. Sharp edge to edge. F1.2 aperture creates extremely shallow depth of field, so the lens has to work well with the camera electronically and mechanically, and less optical issues, better the performance overall. Here Sigma has really nailed it. It really works extremely well, and acquiring focus and sharp images or video is not even possible consistently, but also easy to do with this lens. Comparing it directly side by side to G Master, which is significantly more expensive, there's no difference in quality or performance in my opinion. Very small differences, if any. 50mm lens has got a natural field of view. It means that the field of view is the closest to what we see with naked eye, and is very versatile focal length for a lot of shooting scenarios. It is, however, in my opinion, ideal for portrait. 35s and 85s are also great for that, but images shot with 50 are most natural looking. I'm not talking about your subject and subject to background separation, but the overall look. Talking about the subject to background separation and the bokeh, this lens and that ultra wide aperture of f1.2 are ideal for that. Closer you get to your subject, more depth of field you are going to create, or shallow depth of field you are going to create. The bokeh, the blurred parts of the image, are very smooth and creamy. Very characteristic for Sigma, you get slight swirling, which gives it a bit of character, making it less clinical. The only difference optically between this and the GM lens is a small amount of chromatic aberration visible, certainly way below average and nothing to worry about. The absence of vignetting, ghosting or flaring is highly uncommon. Or flaring and ghosting is very well under control, placing this lens in the exceptionally premium category due to its outstanding performance. With aperture this wide, you also need to remember that the depth of field is very shallow. The focus point is hair thick, and shooting everything wide open at f1.2 is not always practical. Minimum focusing distance is a little bit shorter than with most of 50mm lenses, and only 40 centimeters. This makes this lens a little bit more versatile, as it allows you to get closer to your subject to capture good close-ups as well. I certainly could work with just 50mm, with just this 50mm for everything that I shoot. This is a great lens for filming with. The autofocus has got no problems and it is silent. That shallow depth of field helps with creating that elusive cinematic look, and f1.2 widest aperture certainly make it possible to shoot in much lower lighting conditions. There's some focus breathing visible, something that is present with most of 50mm lenses. It seems, however, less visible than with the Sony G Master. Not bad overall, but focus breathing is there if it is something that bothers you. Overall performance-wise, it is one of the best prime lenses that I have ever used, way above average and easily on par with Sony G Master. This video is proudly sponsored by Motion Array. Whether you are an aspiring video editor or a seasoned professional, Motion Array is an indispensable resource you need to know about. Their extensive asset library is a treasure trove for filmmakers and content creators alike. Whenever you feel like your video could use that extra spark or you're missing that special ingredient to elevate your content, Motion Array has got you covered. With their subscription service, you gain access to a vast array of resources including presets, LUTs, video templates, motion graphics, titles, stock photos and videos, graphics, copyright-free music and sound effects. The sheer variety of options, tools and add-ons available to enhance your videos is truly remarkable. Personally, Motion Array has been a game changer for me. It not only provides a quick access to essential assets, but also maintains a high standard of quality throughout its offerings. Whether I need a title or music to enhance and speed up the editing process and meet deadlines, Motion Array delivers with utmost convenience. One of the most appealing aspects is the flexibility of their membership. There are no binding contracts. You can cancel your subscription at any time. Plus, everything you download during your membership remains yours to keep and reuse indefinitely. For those hesitant to commit, Motion Array also offers free resources to help you get started. Whether you opt for an annual membership or simply need a burst of assets for a single month, Motion Array's offerings are undeniably worth the investment. Don't miss out. Check out the link in the description below. Build. It is not a nifty 50. It is chunky and it weighs a bit, but it is a f1.2 lens, and previously f1.2 lenses were always bigger than this. It weighs 740 grams. Not light, but okay for a lens of this size. I had no problem carrying it and shooting with it handheld all day. It also is not too heavy for using on a gimbal if that's what you need. It is very well built. It feels solid and made to last. The focus ring has got really nice feel to it, well dampened, better than GM lens, which is surprising. Standard auto manual focus switch, focus hold button that can be assigned to do other functions via the camera, manual aperture ring with a switch to switch clicking on and off, and another switch to lock it in auto mode or out of it. Filter thread of 72mm, full weather sealing, and it comes with supplied plastic lens hood and padded case. It looks and feels great, all premium quality. Price, it will retail for £1,299 in UK or $1,399 in US. Not cheap for 50mm, but it is a f1.2 Pro premium quality lens, and its only competition, the G Master, is nearly £1,000 or dollars more expensive. Considering how good build and optical quality it is an amazing value for money. The only question is, do you really need f1.2 aperture? Why the aperture doesn't make photos or video shot with better quality? And if you can live without it, Sigma 50mm f1.4 DGD and R is about £400 or dollars cheaper than this. However, it is like the Spinal Tap's amps. This goes all the way to 11, and it never hurts to have aperture that opens this wide, just in case. Who is it for? This is a perfect everyday lens for pretty much everything. Product, lifestyle, nature, close-up, landscape, portrait, and everything in between. This could be just one lens for anyone who wants or needs that premium high-end image quality. A perfect lens for any pro photographer or anyone who can justify that price tag and wants that creamy bokeh. This is a lens for someone who wants the best. This is one of the best. Conclusion, not the smallest or the lightest 50mm out there, but the only one autofocusing f1.2 this good at this price. Only one AF f1.2 lens available for L-mount full frame Lumix cameras, and for Sony users, only one to compete with Sony's mighty G Master f1.2 lens. In my opinion, this is actually slightly better lens overall than G Master one, and it is cheaper. Will it be popular? I think so. Even though the f1.4 version is much cheaper and it is lighter than this is an object of desire. If you are into 50mm lenses, and even if you don't think you need f1.2, once you try this lens, you won't go back. In my opinion, this is the best Sigma Prime and a new Sigma flagship lens right now. This redefines definition of a pro lens, especially at this price. This is the first affordable f1.2 Prime in this class. Amazing lens, and I highly recommend it. I will be comparing it side by side to Sony G Master lens in a separate video very soon, and testing L-mount version on Lumix cameras too. But for now, this is it from me. I hope this video was helpful or informative. If it was, please give me the thumbs up. Consider subscribing, follow me on Instagram, check out my Lightroom presets, link is below in the description. A link to Motion Array is also in the description. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. And we are rock and rolling. This is 50mm has, I certainly could